Hey, welcome to Brighter Rays, and this week we're doing a study called May God Almighty Grant You Mercy. And this is from Genesis 43, 1 through 34. Now, in chapter 42, we started this series of events that describe how Joseph's family is reconnected. They reunite after over 20 years of being apart. Now we get to witness Joseph's interaction with his brothers as he tests them and eventually reveals who he is to them. We'll also watch as Joseph invites his whole family into Egypt to escape the famine. So you see that exodus from the land of Canaan into Egypt to escape the famine. Then they stay, obviously. Well, the promise that God made to Abraham that his offspring would sojourn in a land that wasn't theirs for 400 years is well underway, with Joseph being there and then eventually bringing his whole family into the land, and Jacob's there. Now, if you remember that Jacob has sent his 10 sons, 10 of his sons, because he has 12 obviously, so he sent 10 of his sons to Egypt to buy food for the family since the famine had not just hit Egypt, but all of the land. Now, they appeared before Joseph, but they didn't recognize him. The last they saw of him, he was like a 17-year-old Hebrew kid. And now he was over 30, and he was very Egyptian. In his dress, in his speech, if you're inculcated into a culture for that long, you're going to pick up their speech, you're going to pick up their ways of acting, the dress, different things like that. So he's not very Hebrew looking. Also, they assumed that he was no more. They assumed that he was gone. He's probably dead. And so, Joseph acted as if he didn't know them and proceeded to accuse them of being spies and all that kind of stuff together. Just, they didn't recognize him. When they're accused of being spies, they deny it, obviously, because they're not spies. They're being truthful in that. But, eventually Joseph would send his brothers on their way, minus Simeon, who was incarcerated. However, Joseph would also give their money back. Now, whatever reason Joseph had for doing that, his brothers' hearts failed. Upon returning home, the now 9 brothers relayed to Jacob all that happened, and they begged him to take Benjamin with them so that they could, go get Simeon out. But Jacob refused. He would not put Benjamin, the last of his favorite wife's children, in harm's way. Jacob and his sons saw all the bad that was happening as they saw it all as God coming against them. That's what they saw it as. And all this evil was coming at them, and this is God against us. But as we know, it was through this bad stuff that was happening that God will show that He is really more for them. And more for them than they can even comprehend. Now we pick up the story with the famine still raging in Canaan, and the food is running out again. Now in verses 1 through 10, we have the negotiations between Jacob and his sons over taking Benjamin to Egypt. Ultimately, it is Judah who steps up and offers himself as a pledge of safety. In 11 through 14, we see Jacob returned to his faith and calls upon the mercy of El Shaddai. He's going to trust God. In 15 through 25, the brothers return to Egypt and are reminded that the peace and treasure of God have been with them. And in the last paragraph, we have Joseph and his brothers eating and enjoying each other as Joseph begins to reveal who he is. So come back next time and we'll start our study in verses 1 through 10.